Well, for more on Chinatowns around the globe, my colleague Mike Walter spoke with Ruonan Zheng. She's a Chinese journalist focusing on culture, society, and business. He asked her about the importance of Chinatowns historically.
Yes, Chinatown is very important back in the 80s when the first generation Chinese immigrants come to, for example, the U.S., where Chinatown predominantly locates. And the role of Chinatown is a safe haven for them. So those people will come here to become comfortable with their life in the U.S. For example, they would have provided with education resources, finance to get their life started.
So resources, but also kind of a touchstone, keeping traditions alive in many respects too, correct?
Yes, definitely. Keep traditions of holidays, of the family structure, of their philosophy back home alive at this new land.
So it served the community, especially for people new to the United States, to get acclimated and that sort of thing, assimilated. So talk to me about this purpose Chinatown served today. How have things changed or evolved versus back then to today?
Yes, I would say the role of Chinatown really evolved over the past few decades. Before, it's a safe haven for immigrants, but now, as affected by the gentrification, so a lot of people are forcing out of the neighborhood because of the high rents. And we're seeing the demographic of Chinatown start shifting from, the first generation Chinese to second generation to, non-Asian Americans. So the entire race as well as class start changing. So it instead of before, it becomes a window for people to get to know China, and it becomes really more mixed of type of demographics.
Let me ask you about the generational question. I imagine people who moved here years ago, it's kind of a touchstone. They probably are wistful about the good old days in Chinatowns. Are millennials different? I mean, are they ready to kind of shake loose and go in a different direction? Do they view Chinatowns differently?
Yeah, I would say they are eager to move out of Chinatown, though some are trying to change the stereotype of the neighborhood. And some are eager to move out of the place because of the high rent. And we're seeing they're moving, to, for example, the less expensive area, Flushing in Queens, or the Chinatown in Brooklyn. But I think in general, it is a place where they understand China within their community, and it's always part of the tradition what they see in China. And of course, that image is so different from, the China back in mainland. And I have friends who commented, Chinatown in the U.S. It's decade behind in terms of development. It really is a place that gets stuck. And I think maybe millennials share the same feelings.